Just go through the passing the combine. Took 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, and this is the equity curve. I had to take screenshots because Topstep are pretty quick to shut the account down once you pass, and I knew that, so I took screenshots. So this is the equity curve. Pretty good equity curve for me, to be honest. Very minimal drawdown. We had two down days, really not a lot. I think the biggest drawdown I had during the 2 weeks, I think I was in a hole of about 500 at one point, and traded my way back out of that. It wasn't too bad though. I kept the risk pretty tight throughout this period because I really wanted to pass it, given that I went for the no activation fee account. It really doesn't make sense to pay for that account if you're not going to really try and pass it. It didn't bother me if it was going to take a month to pass. For that kind of account, it's more important to pass. So, paid the one-off fee, passed. Now I've got a funded account, no activation fee required. So great. And I'm just going to try and continue to trade like this. Aim for $200 to $300 a day. Keep drawdowns minimal, and just see how it goes. But this is the equity curve, and this was the first week, up 990 for the week. And then this was the next week. So this was the only drawdown day. And then today I pushed it. I was up about 300 or 400 and I was going to lock myself out, but didn't really want the challenge to drag on too long. So I sort of put the gas down, put the pedal down a bit, and you can see 44 trades, which is realistically probably more like 15 trades because I scale in and scale out of things, but still more trades than usual, just because I was very close and I just decided to trade quite a bit to get it done. And yeah, passed. In terms of the stats, for me, the stats were a little bit different to what they usually are, if I can find them here. Okay, yeah, so 3,000, win percentage 60%, basically a 1-to-1 risk to reward, and most days are profitable. It was pretty consistently profitable. Equity curve was pretty solid. This is not typically usual for me. Usually the win percentage, I'm usually about 55-60%, but my average risk to reward is typically 2-to-1 roughly, or a little bit less. So I was definitely closing things out early, taking profit a lot quicker, more so than normal. Usually I let ideas play out more, but yeah, I was a bit more aggressive to take profits. So I think what I'll do in this express funded account now that I've got funded is, I was taking about 3 to 5 micro contracts throughout the combine. So I think I'll pull it back and I'll take 2 to 3 micro contracts, maybe scale up to 5 micro or 6 if it's a really good idea. So I'll pull back the risk a little bit, not a lot, but I'll pull it back a little bit. And then I'm going to try and let my winners run a bit more so we can get this more up to sort of 1.5. But yeah, all in all, pretty uneventful combine, which is exactly the way I want it. Uneventful trading that gives you this kind of equity curve. I'm all for that. So we'll see how the express funded account goes and see if we can get some payouts. So I'm taking along here. Reason being is, if we have a look at the longer time frame, we basically had this break under this low, which is where I caught most of my trading today, to get that strong move. We've come under and we've broken back above. Tried to go higher, drop back down, test the bottom edge of that range, and then we have a nice imbalance up, and we've created this demand area. It's not ideal in the sense that it's the bottom edge of this value. However, we did just sweep that really significant level, and we've got this supply up here, which I would like to see price test. We just broke through these highs, didn't quite test up into this area, and then we had the strong drop. So if we can hold here and then push up, I think we've got a good chance of pushing up into this supply area where you can see this higher volume area here. The only downside to this trade is we've got a lot of volume above us, so we're really at the bottom edge of this range. if we imbalance deep up into this and then pull back, this would be a better trade. But I think this is still not a bad try for a short-term move to test the middle of this volume area before a continuation lower to do it. All right, so I've added to this trade. This is a nice imbalance back up. So you can see that this range is forming. We've got these highs, tried again, broke through, tested under, held to the downside, pushed above, held again, held again, held again, held one more time, dropped through, and now we've had a nice big imbalance back up through on high volume. So this is a good setup now. This looks like it's this is a great trigger in a great spot. Good context again. We've got the low that was swept earlier, high volume that's come in. So there's gonna be trap shorts here, and we've got this big supply area. So really, I'm just looking for a break of this high, and then all of these highs are weak. By weak, I mean they're untested. So none of these highs haven't been taken out. This is a tested high. So this high has been tested, and we've had a drop back under. These highs have not been tested. So these are weak highs, and I would expect to see price want to flush up through all of these highs up into this supply. So we're looking like we might be testing under this low. We've got really the bulk of the volume. That's a very good reaction. So yes, that was a good drop under and then a quick move higher. If I didn't add before, I would add now to this after this reaction. So this is good. Tested underneath this area. This is the bulk of volume. We're back up into the bulk of volume here though. So we're really filling out volume in this area. So that's a good way to tell whether or not you're in balance or where the auction is you can just look at the volume profile, even just for a small period like this, right? This is the auction here. This is where fair value is. Prices are trading. This is where price is accepted. When we dip under value like this, where there's less volume, and then we get an imbalance back up into value, there's a good chance that the bottom edge of that value will hold, and then we'll test the high end. So that's basically what's happening here at the moment. We're filling out volume, we're filling out value here, and when we come down to these lows, we reject back up. When we're coming up to these highs, we're rejecting back down. Because price is liking where we are. There's a lot of trade that's going on here. This is good in terms of a move. So usually when you see price fill out a lot of volume like this, when there is an imbalance and we get a move away from value, usually it's a strong move if there's a lot of orders that have built up in this area. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of people trying to get short, there's a lot of people trying to get long, people are positioning in different ways. The longer this goes on, the more people that are involved, the more positions that they're in. So when the unraveling happens, whichever way it's going to go, typically the move will be quick as people have to get out of their positions. This is why it's important to look at volume. If you look at the size of this volume bar that I've got pointed out here, right? That volume corresponds with this indecision bar here, this indecision candle. This little sideways indecision candle corresponds with this massive volume bar. So that means there's a lot of trade going on here. Which tells me that there's people positioning for a breakout, there's shorts getting involved. Either way, there's a lot of participation, so I would expect a strong move. A strong move either way. We're still seeing above volume, which I like. That's giving me protection for the trade. You want to be on the other side of volume. You can use that as protection, and really I'm looking for these highs to go. Once this high breaks, this is an even better situation now. We've tested the demand, we've put in a good low, high volume here. So once we break above this high, we're back above all of this volume as well. So that at that point, I'll get my risk just under these lows, which will be break even at that point. So risk is off, and I'm gonna watch this to look to potentially scale out of some of this trade as we move higher. Nice push up. Okay, good. Nice. I took one more off there, and I'm going to get aggressive with this last one here as we move up. Just looking for a nice push up. Just going to follow this up because this is no man's land. There could be sellers stepping in at any point here, so I really don't know. where they might want to step in. So we really just want to capture as much of this trade as we can. Just looking for some more. Great, there we go. So $100 on that. It might continue up into this supply, but the overall context is down, so I don't want to get too aggressive to go with the long side. Trying it along here, off the top of each, top of this value area, back into the top edge of this volume, so I'm going to use that as protection in this general demand area. Bit of an aggressive entry. I'm just basically looking at this small bar here on increased volume as we came down to this area, and just got in along there. So I'm still just looking for this idea to complete where it comes up and tests this supply. I think that still has a good chance of testing the supply. This volume on our side is protection. So we've got all of this here, all of this volume here. We can use that as protection for this trade, see if that holds. You can see the bottom edge of it's holding there now. And then we just want to see if this holds and we can get a break of this high. If we get a break of this high, I may even trail behind this bar and see if we can just continue to flush up into this supply. I'll take one off here at 220 and then we'll push up a little bit deeper in the supply area if we're going to get it. Okay, great. So we got some out there, and I'm actually going to go behind the bar. I'm going to go behind the bar on this with my stop all the way back and take a break even. All right. So there's another quick little trade. We'll see if this fills out, this range fills out. Otherwise, now I would be looking for, I really wouldn't be interested in another long up into this supply. We're too close to it now. Wouldn't make sense from a risk reward perspective. So now I'm looking for shorts up here. Once we get up into this area, I'm looking for shorts. And you can start to see the absorption coming. So there's high volume pin bar forming. So we might start seeing the shorts in here.